because the team is falling apart without him. He made it clear he has no plans of coming back, even when she told him that things have been rough for Vigo and the others without his support. Dennis explained that he loves his new life, and even though most of his regulars are weirdos, he enjoys the stress-free life. When Katie asked if her begging would change anything, he reminded her that he was a chef from the very start, not an adventurer. Feeling sad about his answer, Katie tries to convince Vigo to invite Dennis, but the captain flat out refuses and tells her to just forget about it. She argues that everything was going so well when he was on the team, so why not ask him back? But Vigo ends the conversation by walking away. Meanwhile, things are getting busier than ever at the restaurant, and Henrietta says it makes sense since Dennis cooks good food and everyone loves good food. At that moment, Vivia looks surprised to see Bokkel there, and Bokkel thanks her for dropping by. She reveals she is living at the restaurant now, so Henrietta tells her to take it easy and not overdo things, but Bokkel says staying still makes her anxious, plus she has a cute senior helping her out. Right then, Dennis arrives with their food, and the two light up like always when they see what he made. Henrietta takes a bite of the crispy shrimp and says that this is exactly why more people are becoming regulars like her. But Dennis reminds her she is more of a freeloader than a regular. Hearing that, both Vivia and Bokkel are shocked she still has not paid him back. But Henrietta insists she has been trying to find a job and things are just rough right now. Dennis gives her a cold stare, and she finally apologizes for making lazy excuses. Just then, more customers walk in and Vivia asks Dennis if he can manage all of them. He explains that Aetlier has been helping a lot, and Vivia also notices she seems to be having fun lately. So maybe something good happened to her? Right after that, a bowl slips from Dennis's hand, and he asks Vivia if he can visit on his next day off because he wants to talk about something. Henrietta quickly offers to help out as well, but Dennis shoots her down right away, which only makes her even more curious about what they are going to talk about. Later that night, Henrietta feels uneasy knowing she has to take a shower in a public bath because she is still broke. When she remembers Dennis calling her a freeloader, she starts to believe he might actually kick her out of the restaurant if she keeps this up. So she decides to do something before it is too late. Meanwhile, on Vivia's next day off, Dennis finally sits him down and confesses that Aetlier has a boyfriend now, and Vivia is shocked that this is what Dennis wanted to talk about. Dennis explains that he has been giving her some allowance lately, but now she keeps wandering off on her own. He says he was worried sick about where she went until he saw her walking around with some guy. Vivia thinks it is good that she is making friends, but Dennis slams the table and says it is way worse if they are more than friends. When Vivia asks why he does not just ask her directly, Dennis gets flustered and says it would sound creepy. In frustration, he says the guy should have at least brought him a box of cookies if he is serious about her, and then he declares he will not let her go out with any weakling below level 80. Suddenly, Aetlier appears behind him and tugs his shirt, asking what he is talking about, which makes Dennis freak out. Vivia quickly covers for him by saying he came to learn how to cook, and Dennis gives him a thumbs up for the quick save. Right then, Aetlier says she wants to learn cooking too, which makes Dennis happy, and he tells her to wash her hands before they start. Later, he shows her how chopping onions the right way changes the taste, and when she says her eyes hurt, he panics and quickly tells her a trick to deal with it. But when Vivia says his eyes hurt too, Dennis just wishes him good luck. After that, he compliments Aetlier when she gets the onion cuts right. But when Vivia does a good job too, Dennis barely reacts at all. While watching Aetlier try her best, Dennis recalls his own childhood, when he once asked his master if he was doing good. She told him he cheated by using a skill, so he asked how she knew, and she replied that she always knows what he is up to. Back in the present, Aetlier snaps Dennis out of his thoughts and tells him she accidentally broke the egg. So he helps her fix it and has fun teaching her how to crack eggs properly, mix them, and coat the meat with crumbs. Next, they fry the meat, and soon the Bertora cutlet is ready. Dennis tells Aetlier she did amazing for her first try. On the other hand, when Vivia proudly presents his cutlet, Dennis just says it looks good without even looking. Just then, the sound of the clock tower makes Aetlier jump up, and she rushes out, saying she has to go. Dennis asks where she is going, and she simply replies outside as if he doesn't already know that. Watching her leave, Vivia wonders if she is off to meet her boyfriend, which makes Dennis panic again. At that exact moment, Bokkel steps out of her room, and Dennis quickly tells her to finish the 2 bowls and then go shopping, because he has something urgent to take care of with Vivia. who clearly does not want to go. At the same time, Bako looks uneasy since she does not feel confident shopping alone. That is when Henrietta shows up just in time and proudly announces that she took a party placement exam. But Dennis ignores it and asks if she can help Bako with shopping. Henrietta happily agrees, and Dennis tells them he is counting on them before dashing out at full speed, making the girls wonder what's wrong. In the city, Vivia tries to convince Dennis to stop because they definitely look like stalkers, but Dennis brushes it off, saying he is her guardian. Vivia says he should just walk up to her then, instead of acting like a creep. Just then, Dennis grabs Vivia by the head and points at the boy who dares to charm his sweet girl. Vivia says they still do not know if he is just a friend. But when the boy leads her into a jewelry shop, Dennis loses it, thinking she is about to walk out with a wedding ring, and it is way too soon for that. At first, Vivia asks if they should go inside. But after seeing Dennis mentally break down, he comes up with a better idea. Meanwhile, Henrietta sits alone nearby looking worried, so Bako asks her what is wrong. She admits she needs to make money fast before Dennis starts hating her. And when Bako asks about her odd job pay, she says it all goes into repairing her gear and buying healing items because she always gets hurt. That her money just vanishes no matter how hard she works. And it makes sense since she's the tank. Henrietta says she is trying to think of some other way to repay him, and Bako promises she will support her no matter what, which cheers her up. Just then, they overhear two guys talking about a rumor that the Night Mist captain got humbled by a restaurant owner who used to be with Silver Wing. They wonder if Night Mist will try to get back at him. Meanwhile, Dennis is still confused about why Vivia's genius plan involves a megaphone. Vivia explains the device is enchanted with magic to carry voices a long distance. Dennis still does not get how that helps, so Vivia says that's where a genius mage like him comes in. After he casts the spell, Aether's voice comes through. Dennis is genuinely impressed, but Vivia admits he is not exactly proud of doing this. Then, they hear Aether say she likes it, that it is cool, and she will cherish it forever. That stuns them both. But when she says she is glad to have met him, Dennis panics so loudly that a nearby old lady gets suspicious. At that moment, a thief uses wind magic to snatch the lady's bag and dash off. Dennis shouts for help, but after learning the thief only stole a bag, he turns to Vivia and asks for a magic boost. Meanwhile, the blonde thief laughs about how easy it was, until he sees a scary man sprinting with a kid on his shoulders quickly closing the gap. The thief is stunned that someone can keep up with him even using wind magic. Then he realizes Dennis is not even using any at all, while Vivia asks if all Silver Wing members are this fast, and Dennis replies that he is the fastest because he never skipped leg day. At a dead end, the thief uses wind magic to jump to the roof, while Dennis climbs it with pure muscles. And when he asks Vivia if he has any useful spells, the boy casts Palm to bounce him high into the air like a trampoline. The blonde thief stares in horror as Dennis jumps mid-air and quickly catches up. But he launches a surprise attack on Dennis right before he gets him and takes off, bragging that he will not get caught easily with that kind of magic. Hearing that, Dennis tells Vivia to get off after they land, and Vivia spots the girls up ahead on their way down. As the thief brushes past them, he grins, thinking he just needs to shake them off and sneak out now. But Henrietta comes from above with a serious face and swiftly subdues the cocky thief. After that, Dennis catches up and pats her on the head for the good work. Later at the restaurant, he tells the girls as well that Aether has a boyfriend, but Vivia clarifies they do not know for sure yet. Then, Henrietta jokingly asks him if he is feeling lonely these days, and Bako comes out with it that she is worried he will ban her. Dennis says he would never ban someone who appreciates his cooking like her, though he might change his mind later. Right after that, Aether quietly walks in and goes behind the counter with an intense look on her face as she surprises Dennis with a box. When he looks inside, he finds a bracelet that Aether reveals she was saving up all her allowances for. Hearing that, Bako laughs that he had the wrong idea, and Henrietta spills the beans when Aether asks what that means, and that nearly earns her a permanent ban. After that, he tries it on, and watching him wear it makes Aether smile. Meanwhile, Captain Vigo goes to a mansion to meet with someone after a long time. The next day at the restaurant, Dennis tells Aether to go clean outside. But just then, a customer walks in, and he tells them that lunch hours are over. However, the customer starts crying with joy the moment he sees Lady Aether is safe and sound. Dennis has no idea what is going on, while Henrietta assumes the old man is a weird lowly lover and gets ready to punish him on the spot. But the old man explains that he is Stevens, the head butler of Lady Aetlier Workstadt. Hearing that, Dennis and Henrietta both become curious, while the other two completely flip out. Seeing how clueless Dennis is, Vivia wonders if they live under a rock, and Bockel explains that House Workstadt is the kingdom's biggest and most prestigious mage family, leaving Dennis totally stunned. Meanwhile, the teary butler declares it is finally time for the young lady to take her revenge. After taking a seat, Stevens mutters that it is truly tragic she has to live in a backwater restaurant, which makes Dennis want to throw him onto the street. But Vivia tells him to at least hear the geezer out. Then, Stevens reveals he is actually the former head butler, and the royal court ordered him to bring the young lady back home. His story confuses Dennis, so Stevens goes on to say that Aetlier's late father's brother kicked her out of the family on the claim that she was an illegitimate child. However, now that they have found her father's will, which clearly states that Aetlier is the true heir and will inherit all his power and fortune, the royal court gave her the chance to hear out her case, and that is why Stevens begs her to return, stop her Uncle Joseph's